Hello and welcome to WinPoint's webinar on nurture skills and find your niche in IT career. It's always a pleasure to address young minds like all of you who have great dreams. So even before COVID-19 started, it was a VUCA world. Some of you might have heard the acronym VUCA. So VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So before COVID-19, what it meant was it was an experience of operating in a complex environment, which was driven by the rise in globalization. And let's quickly go through each of these letters. So volatility is all about unpredictable and rapid changes, right? So liable to frequent, rapid, and unpredictable changes. Uncertainty is inability to know everything fully, right? So you cannot be certain about any event which is happening. Then you have complexity. So complexity is a system which consists of multiple parts, and those parts are interconnected and they are also interdependent. And the last one is ambiguity. Ambiguity is a scenario wherein you have multiple interpretations, right? So you cannot be sure about one single outcome. Now, all of these were applicable before COVID, as I said, right? So what has happened is the outbreak of COVID-19, all these problems have compounded even more, right? So all of us are trying to actually get used to the new ways of life, and we are trying to adapt very fast. So the challenges which were earlier related to each of these characteristics of VUCA, all of them are applicable in the new world of COVID-19 as well. So let's try and understand the mapping a little bit more in detail. For example, volatility, right? So volatility, I told you that it is all about unpredictable and rapid changes. So in the context of COVID-19, the way it holds good is you cannot predict those changes. And those changes are happening pretty fast, right? So every day you get to hear some new update. There are some new restrictions being imposed. There is cancellation of flights or even train services. And so the situation is pretty volatile as such. Why it is uncertain? It is uncertain because you do not know when this pandemic is going to come to an end, or you do not know exactly when the vaccine is going to come. So in that sense, the situation is pretty uncertain. The reason it is complex is apparently it appears to be a healthcare problem, which has happened worldwide, but the impact is actually getting extended across multiple areas. So, for example, all the businesses, there is a devastating impact on the businesses. The social life is completely disrupted for everyone. There is a lot of impact on the economy. So all of us are experiencing, quite a lot of slowdown. So in that sense, these are all, different parts of human life, which are actually interconnected and they are interdependent, and all of them are getting affected thanks to COVID-19. And ambiguity is because there is not a single best practice that any particular organization can follow, which will have relevance and acceptance across all the organizations. So we cannot be sure about any specific interpretation or any specific meaning. There could be more than one actually. So apparently it looks like the picture is very gloomy, but some of the sectors are actually relatively less affected. And one of such sectors, or rather I would like to take examples of two such sectors. One is obviously the education, technology-based education. So we call it EdTech. And another is IT, the sector that all of you would be aspiring to be part of. These two sectors are relatively less affected. Okay, so before I discuss a bit more about that, let me tell you the sectors which are more affected. Aviation, organized retail, travel and tourism, hospitality, all these sectors are affected big time. So coming back to EdTech and coming back to IT, I would like to share our own experience. So until 6 months back, we used to conduct all our courses. We are a training and consulting company. I'll tell you more about it on the next slide. But we used to do all of that in the conventional mode, in a traditional mode. We used to do all the courses in the form of classroom sessions. But beginning of COVID in March, probably second or third week, we were actually required to transition all these courses into online mode. So in that sense, it was found to be a blessing in disguise for all the educational ventures which are actually enabled by technology. So there is a lot of digitization happening with all such ventures. A lot of digital tools, digital processes are being implemented, and there's a paradigm shift. You can call it as completely. A lot of innovative models are coming along. A lot of disruptions are taking place, and the organizations which will adapt fast, actually, those organizations will do a lot better in the post-COVID scenario. And we have been actually going through that journey in the last 6 months, and we have already started seeing the benefits. So earlier we would never target customers from locations outside of Pune, but now with emergence of online training, virtual trainings, we are able to actually look at customers not only from outside Maharashtra or pan India, but also some of the global locations. Okay, so to give you a quick introduction about WinPoint, the vision statement is there in front of all of you. So this is a vision statement for our B2C segment: inspire people worldwide to envision a great career and help them accomplish career goals at any stage of their professional lives. So we serve education industry, and we have a very high focus on two segments. One is B2B and another is B2C. So B2B is an enterprise segment for us, and which includes two sub-segments, and they are corporate and academic universities and institutes. So they come under B2B, and B2C consists of three parts: working professionals, students, and freshers. So we have two different vision statements. The one that you can see on the screen is actually designed for B2C segment. So to give you a little bit of background, we founded this organization, which is a training and consulting company, back in 2014. So we are almost 6 years old startup, a relatively young company. And we started this with a dream to impact career lives of the people, and also to be able to contribute to the transformative initiatives of the corporate. And prior to 2014, we founders had collectively worked in industry for about 38 years, including stints across global markets at a leadership level. Moving forward, this slide actually talks about the different market segments, which I already mentioned, B2B and B2C. And there are three portfolios in which we have designed solutions and services. So one of them, which is actually relevant for today's webinar, we have put different offerings or different solutions and services from learning and development, which are actually mentioned on the top. So we have technology trainings, we have soft and behavioral skills trainings, we have business management skill development trainings, and then we also do finishing school program, which is called campus recruitment training niche, and we also do talent acquisition support. So we work with few client organizations, IT, software product and technology companies, and we work for them as their talent acquisition partner. So you can see the mapping. So for example, the trainings from different portfolios, which you can see in the top left box, they are actually applicable to all the segments. And finishing school program, CRT niche, that is actually targeted for students and freshers who are going to be approaching us in the individual capacity, and also universities and institutes. So with that, let's move on. Okay, this is an important slide. Now, actually, we are going to talk more about the strategy and the roadmap and the vision that you need to have for starting a dream IT career with premier product and technology companies. So on the left, you are actually seeing the timeline. All those numbers the number of years. They are actually, the amount of time, right from the start. So I believe, the people who are attending this webinar, we have, good mix, diverse audience, including students, freshers, right from first year to final year students, and also a few freshers we have. So the plan, the roadmap that we have designed and which we have been able to implement successfully over a period of last 6 years, first 2.5 years, right? So which is until the end of first semester of your third year. Actually, you should focus on learning different courses. And these courses are actually aimed at developing your understanding and knowledge, right? And the roles that you'll be typically targeting, since all of you are students of engineering and technology, obviously you would be targeting roles like software developer, software engineer, technology developer, technology analyst. So there are different types of skills which are required for these roles. And so two main categories are hard skills and soft skills. So being engineering students, the hard skills would include all technical skills. So that is one area. Another area is soft skills. And, I'll show you which specific skills you should be focusing on in the subsequent slides. So the second area is soft skills. And the third one, which is equally important, is behavioral skills. So when I say learning courses, actually, they are designed to equip you with skills cutting across all three categories: technology skills, soft skills, and behavioral skills. So the whole purpose of this intervention, learning courses, is to actually help you establish deep foundation in all these areas, different skill areas, right? And that foundation has to be really deep. Okay, the second one, which is part of this roadmap, is CRT niche. So as you have seen on the previous slide, CRT niche is an intervention, or it's a training program which is actually focused on employability with some premier companies. Okay, so this program was designed about 5 years back when we actually pioneered it for PICT and rolled it out at their campus for about 150 students. And since then, we have been doing it every year. So this is our annual flagship strategic program. And the purpose of this program is to actually give exposure, very high quality exposure to all the students and participants, maybe freshers as well, to different types of questions, right? And I will explain the components of CRT niche a bit later. So we actually do this during the second semester of third year, and that's why you can see the timeline from 2.5 years to 3 years. So you complete the courses, all the courses, you build your foundation at a very deep level, which is actually an eligibility for the CRT niche. So you cannot come and attend CRT niche, directly. You need to have that solid foundation in place, and for that you do all the courses in depth. The third one is internship projects, right? So it is very important to actually apply all the knowledge and all the understanding that you would have developed by learning different courses. Otherwise, those theories and those concepts would not be of any use until and unless you actually implement all of them in real life projects. So we urge students to work on different internship projects, and the timeline that we have planned for engineering students is 2 years immediately after completing your second year and until completing the entire engineering program. So 2 to 4 years, actually 2 years you can use to work on different internship projects. You can use this period to work on some research projects as well. So those of you who get an opportunity to work on research projects, have some publication of your own, publish your paper in one of the international reputed journal, I think you can plan all those activities during that period of 2 years. But in nutshell, these are the three important cornerstones of your strategy, right? And this is the roadmap. So if you have a vision of making a dream IT career, right? Creating a very powerful dream career with a high-profile company, and we'll talk about some of those names a bit later during this webinar. Then you need to have a proper strategy in place. And this slide actually talks about that strategy. So now you understand the different strategy components, which are learning courses, CRT niche, and internship projects. And there are timelines also. So you know exactly, which period you should be using to focus on which particular intervention. Okay, so as I said, there are three different skill categories. So learning courses are actually targeted for developing your skills. The focus will be more on developing understanding and knowledge in the beginning. And obviously, during the second part of the intervention, you will be moving from knowledge to skills, particularly when you start working on those internship projects. So the technology stack that you can see in front of you, they are all mandatory skills. So we have been consistently doing the research of the technology stack requirements of different premier and technology companies. So we have a lot of information, and we have resources and multiple sources of information we have used to actually keep our database up to date. Over a period of last 6 years, we have been actually doing this activity, and we know the requirements of different organizations. And what we have observed, even up to the latest period, just 1 or 2 months back, that all 50, 60 good organizations which visit different colleges in Pune and Maharashtra in general, I think their focus is mainly on these mandatory skills. So there is no option for you of not being skilled in these areas. So they are very critical, they are mandatory skills, and you must focus on developing a deep level competence in all of these skills. The second is good to have skills, right? So some of the organizations have also started, expecting you to bring those skills to the table. So for example, frameworks of JavaScript, Express.js, AngularJS, Node.js, also jQuery, Ajax, Advanced Java, Spring, and Hibernate. So at least these skills, some of the organizations have started expecting from freshers. And if you plan your journey methodically, you have a good period of 2.5 years. So you can utilize that not only to complete your mandatory skills, but also explore and complete your courses or develop your proficiency in at least some of the good to have skills. So that is as far as hard skills is concerned. As I said earlier, so hard skills are nothing but your technical skills. The second important area is soft skills. And the third one is behavioral skills. So these are the skills which are actually expected by all the premier companies, right? And when I say premier companies, what I mean is product companies, technology companies, maybe few startups. So mandatory skills, as far as soft skills area is concerned, there is a lot of focus given by these companies on communication skills. So there are three components as far as communication is concerned. You need to first get your foundation in place, and for that, you have to be very proficient with your language skills, right? So you have to be very strong in syntax. You should be very strong with your word choice, word form, word order, parts of speech. You need to understand the rules of English language. So you do that, at a basic level. And after that, when you want to apply your language skills in the different forms, so you need to either write or you need to speak. So for example, this webinar that I'm doing, actually I'm using my oral communication skills, right? But in organizations, you need to do a lot of writing as well. So there are different types of artifacts that you need to create. For example, proposals, emails, reports. So for that, you need very good writing skills. You need to be familiar with the writing process. So how to explore ideas, how to actually put together your first draft, how to pre-write, how to plan and organize your thoughts, how to put together an outline, how to put together your first draft, then revise it, edit it. So these are all different components of writing skills, and you need to gradually move up. So at the very basic level, you should be able to write a sentence, and then you should be able to take it forward and put together a paragraph. And after paragraph, obviously the next level is an essay, or you should be able to put together a narration. So all these skills are very important as far as written communication is concerned. Oral communication, you should be able to express your thoughts very clearly, very confidently. So you have to be articulate. Then you should be able to get across your views and opinions and thoughts and ideas, in as many, as minimum words as possible. So there are a lot of aspects actually. You should be able to listen well. You should be able to talk in an assertive way. You have to use your body language. So non-verbal vocal and non-verbal non-vocal, those components are very important. Even when you speak, I think your planning and organizing skills are tested. How to ask questions, all these skills which are important for oral communication. So that is the portfolio of soft skills that you need to develop, fairly good expertise in. And then on the side of behavioral skills, I think personality development is very, very important. Okay, so this is a completely different area. And in today's webinar, I think, we'll be spending some time talking about the personality dimension as well. Right. So personality is every person has got a different type of personality. So it's about how you think, how you feel, how you behave, how you conduct yourself in different circumstances. Right. So it's a very, very important area that you need to develop your personality, because a lot of organizations have actually started evaluating your behavior. So it's not just about skills and abilities, but it is also about the behavioral fit for that organization, or the fit of the core values, the fit between their culture and your own culture. So there are different areas which are important in the personality development. For example, you should be able to discover your own personality. Then you should be able to understand how you are relating to the world outside of you. Areas like self-confidence, self-motivation, self-esteem, self-belief, they're very, very important. Self-awareness, then how to deal with failure, how to overcome fear. All these areas, they actually fall in the category of personality development. And also your beliefs, your values, your attitudes. So you need to actually focus a lot of attention to this area as well. So we'll talk more about it. There are a couple of slides which I have specially designed to talk more in detail about the behavioral aspects. All right. So the third component, or rather the second component. So we discussed the first component. If you remember on that roadmap slide, there were three components, right? Learning courses, CRT niche, and internship projects. So, the learning courses are divided into three skill areas. If you want to look at it that way, hard skills, which is same as technical skills. Then you have soft skills and behavioral skills. So we completed our discussion of that part. The second one is finishing school program. So this is a program which we pioneered in 2015 for PICT students, right? And I already mentioned that we designed and delivered this training course at PICT campus for 150 students back in 2015. And since then, we have been doing this every year, right? So this year also, we are starting our batch from 6th of December. So this is a program which is actually focused on the hiring process used by different organizations, right? So we give a lot of exposure to different types of questions asked during the hiring process, whether it is technical aptitude or problem statements for coding or technical interviews. So we give a very deep level exposure to all those questions, and we actually level up the students, and we actually groom them for successfully completing the hiring process of premier product and technology companies. So that is the purpose of this program. So we actually prepare them for the hiring process. So this is not a course. There is a lot of difference between learning courses and undergoing campus recruitment training niche. So which are the components of this program? You have technology grooming, general aptitude, and GD and PI. These are the three main components. As you can see, technology grooming is further divided into three parts based on the requirements of hiring process, technical aptitude, coding, and technical interview. And the technologies which are important, from the perspective of technical evaluation, those technologies are C, CPP, DSA, Java, DB, OS, and CN. So even today, right, the focus is quite a lot on these fundamental skills, right? So a lot of new technologies are emerging, as all of you must be aware. Data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT. But for some reason, and I'm sure why companies have still not changed their focus from the fundamental skills to the advanced skills. The focus is still quite a lot. So 99.99% of the companies are still focusing on evaluating your skills in the 7 areas. And of course, you can include JavaScript and area of web development as well. So those 8 skills are still considered to be the fundamental and the most critical skills. Then in general aptitude, you have 6 areas: quantitative ability, logical reasoning, verbal ability, verbal reasoning. Then you have data interpretation. So these areas are very important as far as general aptitude is concerned. And I'll talk about the hiring process of all the companies in detail a bit later. You have GD and PI. As I said earlier, companies have started giving a lot of focus on different types of group discussions, different types of personal interviews. So in group discussion, for example, you have topic-based GDs. So there could be three different types of topics. One is factual, another is controversial, third is abstract. Then some companies are doing group tasks, right? So for example, Morgan Stanley and a couple of other companies, so they used to do group tasks earlier. Then in the interviews, you have personal interview, managerial interview, professional fitment, behavioral fit, socio-cultural fit. So different companies have come up with innovative ways of conducting the group discussion and PI. But I think this slide should give you fairly good picture of the different components of the hiring process. And RCRT niche program is actually completely focused on getting the students ready in line with the requirements of all these companies. Okay, the third component, which you have seen on that roadmap slide, is internship projects, right? So a lot of students are actually associated with WinPoint for completing their internship projects. They could be short-term internships or even long-term internships. So a lot of VIT students are actually doing their 6 months internships with us, right, during their final year, either first semester or second semester. So we actually started our project journey with our own website, which we designed and developed a couple of years back. And you can see the role web developer and the different technologies used. Then after that, last year we actually embarked on the initiative of WinPoint digitization. So it's a digital transformation program that we started last year. And in that program, there are different projects: online evaluation system, revenue tracking system, batch scheduling system, batch tracker system. So sometime back, I mentioned about EdTech sector and how that complete sector is getting digitally transformed, right? So the conventional, traditional model used by some of the companies is being completely replaced with the digital model. So a lot of digitization is happening. So we have also adopted a lot of digital tools, digital processes, and students are getting fantastic exposure working on these internship projects with us. In fact, a lot of students from VIT, PICT, PVG, COIT, Modern College of Engineering, they're all getting wonderful exposure working on these projects. So the key advantages of working on these projects at WinPoint are they get to work in core technology areas, right? Unlike some of the other companies where probably Good students might find that work below their ability, but here we give them exposure to a lot of advanced technologies. All the technologies that you can see on the slide, actually they are experimenting with all those technologies, exploring different things, and they're learning a lot, right? So a lot of learning is happening by working on these projects. They also get to work on projects which are based on agile development approach and daily scrum. So they get fantastic exposure of complete SDLC with agile model. They also get to explore some open source libraries like Material Kit. Their codes are actually maintained on GitHub, right? So all the current practices, best practices, and the different tools and techniques which are used by the organizations, the students get to explore all of that. We are currently working on WinPoint digitization upgrade, right? So that technology that we are using in that project are even more advanced. So web technologies, then Spring Boot, RESTful API with JPN Hibernate, all these technologies students learn quite a lot out of. All right, let's come to an interesting part of this webinar now. So logical levels of change, right? All of us need to go through personal transformation. So if we want to change ourselves, and all of us are required to do that. So COVID-19, one big lesson, if all of us have got from COVID-19 is the people who are able to adapt fast and the people who show willingness to change, they are the people who are going to survive initially, and later on they are going to thrive. Okay, so how does this change happen? What are the different logical levels of change? So there are two parts, right? One is extrinsic. Let me talk about that first. So by extrinsic, what I mean is all these factors are actually visible, right? So they are from outside, they can be seen, they can be observed, and they are at a lower level, right? So let me take a couple of minutes to quickly explain what those three different characteristics are. So one is environment, the one that you can see right at the bottom. Environment addresses the question where and when, right? So I will take an example from the perspective of students and freshers, since that is the target audience for this webinar. So environment is the place, right, or the time. So the people that you are connected with, right? So the organization that you are part of. So for example, when you are working on internship projects, right? Who is the lead from that organization? So for example, the students who are working with WinPoint, they actually get to work with our technical director, right? So Anjali Parki, who has got an experience of 21 years working in the software delivery and trainings. So the people that you are surrounded by, the people that you are interacting with. So what kind of conducive environment is made available to you in order to go through different types of problems, in order to make all possible mistakes, and then learn out of those mistakes, right? So that's why environment is very, very important. So again, to summarize, it addresses the question where and when. So the association, the organization that you are associated with, I think that gives you tremendous exposure, and that makes you ready for your future corporate life. Second is behavior. Behavior addresses the question what, right? And all of you will agree that every day we are evolving, and every day, we need to address the question what, right? So behavior is how you are behaving with others, right? So how you are acting, how you are conducting yourself, what do you need to say, what do you need to do in that environment. So whatever environment is made available to you, you need to make full use of that opportunity and transform your own behavior. So let me give you a simple example, right? So a student who is working on an internship project, his old behavior may be not to attend the meetings on time or not being punctual, right? So that is the old behavior which one has to change. So the environment is made available to you. The expectations are set. The people from the organization, say WinPoint, they are actually encouraging you to be punctual. But ultimately, it is you who need to respond to that and who need to bring about that change in your behavior. So it takes time. Changing behavior is not an overnight process, but you need to plan, and over a period of time you should be able to change that behavior. So that addresses the question what. Okay. The third is capability or competence. That answers the question how, right? So it is self-explanatory that you need to develop the competence and capability. So once you know that you lack certain skills, you lack knowledge in certain areas, your understanding is not up to the required level, then you need to actually develop that competence, because that will give you a lot of confidence, right? That will also help you uh, improve your belief, and also it will affect your behavior. So those three are extrinsic factors. Now, a lot of students and even organizations, right? So we also do a lot of work with B2B segment, organizations and universities. And our experience is that people are more worried about extrinsic factors, which is actually not true, because all the extrinsic factors are actually driven by intrinsic factors, right? And which are those intrinsic factors? The first one, immediately after capability or competence, is beliefs and values, right? So very important. This is something which is actually going inside you. So the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic is not visible. Intrinsic is how you perceive yourself from inside. Intrinsic is all about that little noise which is going on in your head, the internal communication that you keep doing with yourself. You may not consciously realize that, but you're talking a lot with yourself. So belief is firmly held opinion. Value is what is important to you, right? So your judgment about what is important to you in life, whether money is more important, whether recognition or career growth opportunities are more important. So you need to actually understand all those aspects. So belief is, as I said, firmly held opinion. So for example, you may have a very good knowledge about a particular subject, but when you are asked to present, maybe there is a deep rooted belief or limiting belief which is actually implanted in your mind, that you are not able to make a good presentation, right? And with that strong belief deep rooted in your mind, you are going to make a lot of errors, right? So you might fidget with your pen, you might miss some of your lines, you might rush through your slides, and then ultimately it will lead to bad performance. And then with one more bad performance like that, that belief is going to become even stronger, that you cannot perform well. Okay, so one way of actually changing your belief or reframing your belief, as they call it in the NLP language, NLP world, is actually develop your skills and abilities. Because once your skills and abilities are developed, as I explained, some time back, then it will help you to produce results. With results produced, your confidence level will go up, and that will have a very positive impact on your beliefs also. Value is also very important, because organizations have actually designed their values, right? So they have decided uh, what is the protocol of behavior, or what is the standard or principles of behavior which are important for them, right? So what are the top 4 values or top 5 values, and they check during their evaluation, they check whether there is an alignment between their values and your own values, right? So very, very important aspect. You need to work a lot on your own beliefs and values. And more importantly, you might not have even realized the importance of these factors, right? Because they are not visible. They are not from outside. They're actually, everything is going on inside from belief and value onwards. Identity is more about yourself. It's about your own image. So who are you? That's a question which is addressed by identity. So it's a cumulative image that you have formed about yourself based on all your learnings, based on your experiences, based on everything that you have gone through in life so far. Okay. And the last but not the least, or rather the most important one, is higher purpose. Higher purpose is nothing but vision, right? So there is a lot of difference between identity and purpose. So from environment to identity, these 5 levels, the focus is on yourself, but purpose it's you change focus from yourself to external world, right? So you will actually set a vision. You will not be selfish. You will not think just about your own gains, but you will think about how you can make a difference to the world outside, or the community that you are part of, the corporate you are part of, how you are being able to serve those people better, how can you improve the lives of other people, how can you make more impact on the world outside, right? So once you go to that level, then your way of thinking will be completely different. So these are six logical levels of change. So the message that I have for all of you on this slide is, it is not only important to focus on extrinsic factors, but also intrinsic factors. In fact, intrinsic factors are more important because they will be driving the transformation in all of you as far as the extrinsic factors are concerned. Okay, next one is about 4 stages of learning. So all of us go through these 4 stages. The first stage is unconscious incompetence, right? So this is blissful ignorance, right? I don't know what I don't know. So I'll take one simple example of learning to drive a car, and I'll explain all 4 stages of learning with the help of that example. So when you are studying in the high school, right, you have not understood the need, or rather you have not felt the need to drive a car. So I would call something like that unconscious incompetence. So for example, before attending this webinar, a lot of things you were not aware of, or you did not have exposure to. I hope that in this webinar you would learn few new things. You will be able to discover few new points. So the state of your mind, or your own level of awareness would be unconscious incompetence. So you are not even aware that you are incompetent, right? So since you did not feel the need to drive a car, you did not even realize that you were not good in driving the car. So that would be the first stage of learning. The second stage is conscious incompetence, right? So I am aware that I don't know, and I learn about the topic. So that realization is felt, right? That need is felt. So you have understood that this is how it operates, right? So career skill development is a marathon, or targeting a high profile career, or a dream career is much beyond learning some courses in the colleges, right? It's a much bigger intervention. There are a lot of other aspects involved with that. So when you are aware of that, then you become serious about it, and then you start learning, or you start undergoing a training program, right? So you have become conscious about that incompetence. That awareness is developed, and that I don't know about this particular topic or this skill area, programming language, communication skills, whatever that could be about, and I need to learn that. So that is conscious incompetence. The same example of driving a car. You join a driving lesson, right? And you start taking those lessons. You learn how to actually drive a car, how to operate the clutch, gear, accelerator, how to navigate through traffic, and then you try and develop your competence. The third stage is conscious competence. So I need to consciously apply what I learned. Okay, so you have completed that training, whether it is for a particular skill or for driving a car, and after completion of that training, you need to actually start applying your knowledge and skills. So you start doing that in a conscious way, right? So after completing your driving lessons for a month or two, when you go on the road, right, obviously your instructor would be sitting next to you, and you'll be very careful, you'll be very conscious while driving the car. Okay, so you'll be very slow, very careful. Sometimes you will not be able to understand which gear you are driving your car in, where is your clutch, where is your accelerator. So you'll be extremely conscious about that. Same thing happens when you are undergoing any training program, right? So skill development takes time, right? So from conscious incompetence, you will move to conscious competence, but you will still not be perfect. You will still be very careful. You will be wary of a lot of things. You'll be making a lot of errors initially. You will start developing that competence, but in a very, very conscious manner. And the last and the final stage is unconscious competence, right? So this is about, I can apply everything without thinking about this. So this is when it happens like your, second nature, right? So for example, Virat Kohli, when he plays that cover drive, now with so much of practice and so much of experience behind him, probably he has played that cover drive 10,000 times earlier. So it all happens very, very effortlessly. He doesn't have to think, whether that ball is right for playing cover drive or not, whether his body position is correct or not, whether his head is, tilted in the right, with the right angle. So it all happens very, very naturally and very, very unconsciously, right? So driving a car, going back to that example, you actually drive it very, very smoothly. You don't even realize that you are driving a car. So you can listen to music, you can talk to the person sitting next to you, even if there is a lot of traffic on the road, you know how to navigate through that. So that is all about unconscious competence. So all of us are actually moving through these four stages, but that feeling the need is very, very important, and that happens at the first stage of unconscious incompetence. All right, now targeting the right company. This slide is a bit of ironical. As you can make out, they have said that for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. Okay, so there is a bit of irony involved in this slide. The organizations will not take care and be fair to you. It's your duty to be fair to you, right? So you need to identify what kind of person you are, right? So here, they have shown different animals. All those animals have different strengths and different weaknesses. Similarly, all of us being humans have our own set of strengths and weaknesses. So we need to target the right company based on a lot of factors. So I'm coming to that slide now, but this slide hopefully sends out a strong message that every company is not cut out for you, right? So company will not worry about that, but you have to be very, very selective. Okay, so this is a small case study. Last year, we had a student called Sanika Gande. She actually went through different training programs with us, technology bootcamp, different technology courses, soft skills, also CRT niche, and she got an offer from EQ Technology last year, a student of SITS. So in the goal setting workshop, we do SWOT analysis, right? So we do strengths and weaknesses are related to that person. Their internal factors, and opportunities and threats are external factors. So in her case, her strength was achievement orientation or hard work, right? She was willing to put in a lot of hard work. So that was her strength. What was her weakness? She was not good in Java programming. She was not, sound with her concepts of database. So those were her weaknesses. But she was ready to put in a lot of work and overcome those weaknesses. Then opportunity. So EQ Technology, which was a dream company for her. So they used to visit SITS campus. So that was going to present a big opportunity for her. And the threat was a lot of competition from peers. So we do goal setting workshop actually for third year students. And in that workshop, we decide the target companies. So we take into consideration different factors. Due to shortage of time, I'll not be able to go through all of them. But your own aspirations, your vision, right? What kind of organization you want to work into, that is very important. We actually facilitate for you to do research of that company, whether you want to work for a product company or tech startup. We actually, find out your expectations, your aspirations, and then we do SWOT analysis for all of you. And it's very important for all of you to do something like this, because then you will be able to target those companies much more meaningfully. You need to consider the eligibility criteria, right? So you need to find out whether that is your strength or not. So different companies have different eligibility requirements in terms of branch, in terms of CGPA, in terms of backlog. They'll be going through your resume. All right, categories of different IT companies. So this is again an illustrative slide. So you can go through the placement report, which hopefully your respective colleges have put on their website. So those 40-50 companies, good companies, which visit colleges like PICT, VIT, COAP, Cummins, MIT. I'm only talking about colleges in Pune. So if anybody had joined from outside of Pune, I'm not discussing that. So those companies can be divided into different types. So you have product companies, service companies, captive or GIC. GIC is Global In-House Center. Then there are some fintech companies, financial technology companies, technology startups. You can see those examples. So you need to do a lot of goal setting for yourself. You need to understand which companies I want to target and why. You need to understand your mind's why you want to work for that organization. So in that goal setting workshop, we actually make you do that presentation, right? So you need to put together your target companies, or you need to identify your goals and then present it back to us as a business case. Then we also help you put together that action plan, and then facilitate not only in planning that action plan but also executing that action plan. Okay, so to give you a quick picture of hiring process, I think those of you who are currently in the B, maybe some of you have gone through hiring process of some companies. You already have that experience. But students of first year, second year, and third year, I think they might be a little new to this. So I'll quickly walk you through this. So there's a pre-qualification, right? So companies would actually put together their eligibility criteria. So they would they would decide whether you qualify to participate in their hiring process. And that eligibility is based on CGPA, backlog, your branch, and resume. So if you don't get shortlisted, then obviously, you cannot take part in their hiring process. Those who get shortlisted, for example, EQ, I think they had CGPA of 7.5. So only those scoring above 7.5, they were allowed to take part in their hiring process. So the first step is aptitude test, and that could have two components, general and technical. You have seen some of these bits on the CRT niche slide. So this is obviously the written evaluation. After aptitude test, again, there would be a filter. So those who score below cutoff, they will be out of the process. Those who get shortlisted, they would be taken to the next stage of coding. After coding, again, there will be a filter. Again, the selection process will vary from company to company. I've just taken one illustrative example so that you get a feel of different components of the hiring process. After coding, you have technical interviews. So few companies will be doing 2 interviews. Some of them might be doing 3 interviews. Now that the entire process has moved to virtual platform, I think companies, most of the companies will be doing 3 interviews. So again, there are different stages. So for example, first one is completely focused on technical questions. Second one, you will be interviewed by a manager level person, and the interview would be more techno managerial in nature. Again, there would be elimination after technical interview. Then you have GD and PI. So we spoke about that. And finally, internship and permanent position. So you'll be given offers for these 2 positions. Okay, key skills required of a software developer. Okay, so these are some important technical skills: logical thinking, debugging, troubleshooting, problem solving, and algorithm writing, right? So these are the main skills. Here, I'm not talking about technologies. Here, I'm talking about the important skills which are required for you to perform the activities or to execute the responsibilities associated with that role. Soft skills, we spoke about communication skills. So oral and written, they are communication. Then interpersonal skills. So how to work on a project team, how to be a part of project team, that is very important. And behavioral skills, all these factors, I think now you understand why they are so important. Will to achieve, right? So strong achievement orientation. You should be dependable, reliable, right? You should be careful, conscientious, attention to detail, process orientation, perseverance, methodical, dedication, discipline, determination. All these skills, they come in the category of behavioral skills. So it's a package. So when a company wants to hire a software developer, they will not just check your technical skills, but they will also find out your soft skills and also behavioral skills. Okay, so one illustrative job description of EQ. This is just to give you an idea. So EQ usually hires for 2 roles: software engineer and software quality assurance engineer. So you can see, I will not go through the details since we don't have much time. So they have been picked up from their JD just to help you understand their requirements. So you can see the responsibilities, you can see the associated skills. So EQ actually focuses a lot on database, OOP, object-oriented programming, Java, data structure and algorithm. These are some of the skills which are very, very important apart from the soft skills. There is another role called quality assurance engineer. So again, you can see the responsibilities in that first column. and the corresponding skills in the second column, right? So most of the companies, they come up with their job description like this. So you are expected to go through the job description, not only going through that, but also developing fairly good understanding of the requirements, and then finding out whether you are cut out for that particular company or not, whether you have those skills or not. So I think the entire process needs to be done in a very, very conscious way. Okay, I'll take quick couple of minutes to explain the difference between synchronous model and asynchronous model, because after COVID-19, I mean, we are still going through that. So I'll not say that we have come out of it. So the trainings are happening in the two ways, right? One is instructor-led virtual trainings. So we are actually conducting all our training programs using that model. So the advantages are, the topic coverage is in depth, right? A lot of discussion happens during the session. You have support from your instructor throughout the sessions. Progress monitoring is happening. So the instructor is much more control. He is accountable for monitoring your progress, making sure that your performance level is going up. You get a chance to discuss with your peers. There is no chance for your attention to get distracted, right? Then you don't feel like dropping out. Since it is mandatory, you'll be attending all the sessions. Your doubt resolution is instantaneous. Immediately you will get clarifications. You can ask your doubts then and there. Then you'll be able to implement all the concepts. So for example, a particular concept is explained, then you can actually develop a small program wherein that will be implemented. So these are all advantages of instructor-led virtual programs. Then asynchronous model, which you can see below. In-depth discussion is not there, right? So that you get a basic idea of the topic, right? Very, very high level picture you get for a particular course. And then evaluation is not proctored. So actually we conducted a survey a few months back, and we got a feedback from all the students. And they said that most of the students, they join these online trainings for the purpose of certification, right? So the serious learning doesn't happen in those courses. There is a tendency to drop out. So people who are not self-disciplined, they actually lose their motivation halfway through the course or even earlier than that. Doubt resolution is not instant, right? So actually the control is lost, right? Asynchronous model is useful for experienced people who have experience of 10 to 15 years. I think they'll be able to leverage that more effectively. But at your stage, students and freshers, I think instructor-led virtual trainings are the best, which happen in the synchronous model. Okay, last couple of slides before we go to the Q&A session. So there are many critical success factors for achieving, for reaching your goal, or for getting the achievement that you are targeting. But some of these are most important. We felt you need to have a vision for your life. We spoke about that. If there are false beliefs, you need to reframe them, because beliefs are going to decide your performance and your behavior. You need to have a very clear thinking, right? So you can do your due diligence, you can do your discovery, but once you come to conclusion, I think you need to act fast. You need to show that sense of urgency. So clarity in thinking and decisiveness is very, very important. You need to start early. If you are serious about your goals and if you want to achieve them, then I think there is no magic pill. So the change and progress always take a period of few years, if not more. So you need to start as early as possible with all these interventions. It's your life. You need to be accountable for what you do. You need to take responsibility for your own future. You have to show courage, right? So COVID-19 is the best example. All of us are showing courage. We are actually getting trained to control our fear, and we are fighting the situation very bravely. So that's applicable to all of us. We need to demonstrate commitment to a purpose or a task. So once we decide to do something, I think we need to stay motivated, and we need to be committed. We need to show complete dedication and determination to actually go all the way until we reach our goals. We need to respect and trust mentors. Once you decide that these people are showing a lot of care for you, they have honest intentions, they are seriously concerned about your future, then you must respect them and you must trust their advice, and you must show willingness to learn from them. That is an important quality. Intellectual arrogance is not good. Even if you have developed skills in a couple of areas, the world is far bigger than that. So obviously it's all about continuous learning. You should never stop. You should treat every success as a milestone, celebrate, over that particular night or evening, and the next day you should start your journey afresh and practice self-awareness. So you have to be very, very self-aware, right? So observe yourself very, very closely, not only the things from outside, your behavior and all the things which we discussed, but also the emotions which are going inside through your mind. You need to keep a close tab of that and then understand how exactly you are feeling, why you are feeling the way you are feeling. So again, self-awareness is a big topic, but then at a very, very high level, this is what I can say. And the last slide is what is the value proposition we bring to the table? Enable personal transformation based on the coaching approach, right? So our focus is on bringing about that change in all of you, right? Help you transform. And so obviously we need students who are ready to work with us over a period of time and who are coachable, because our techniques are completely oriented towards coaching approach. Then we facilitate not only in setting goals but also in achieving them. So we take that accountability for students, deserving students, eligible students who are ready to walk that extra mile with us. So we make sure that they not only set their goals but they actually achieve their goals as well. So that is the accountability that we take. So we are responsible for the outcome, provide intellectually stimulating environment conducive to learning and development. So I told you about that internship projects. So that environment is very powerful, and a lot of learning happens for the students, which is very important, because during your interviews, all the work that you have done during the internship, what you have learned, how you have explored new technologies, there will be a lot of questions asked around that. So the quality of your experience is going to matter a lot. Then high focus on development of coding and technology skills. So that is our strength. Since the companies that we target, they are all technology companies, product companies. So they will have very high focus on your technology skills, your programming skills, your logic building, algorithm writing, problem solving, debugging, performance, troubleshooting. So we focus on developing those skills in you. And another advantage is we would leverage our network. So for example, I had worked in corporate for good 23 years prior to 2014. And Anjali, who is another co-founder, she had worked for about 15 years. So we actually leverage that experience, collective experience of 38 years in connecting students to right people in the industry. As I said, we also provide talent acquisition support for deserving and eligible students. So that is a big advantage. And then we have huge resources, right? So for example, we have hiring process of 50, 60 companies over a period of last 4 to 5 years. So we actually provide access to those resources relate to companies hiring process for tailored preparation for campus recruitment. So I think with that, I have come to the end of the presentation and I'm ready for your questions. Thank you.